You don't have to sit in any particular order. And Ganesh? All right, we'll see if Ganesh joins us. Hopefully he will. Green Clean Infrastructure. Stanley, good afternoon. Good evening. Konbanwa. Do you folks each have slides we're going to present?
Yes.
Sure.
That's whole. If you could advance to our first slide. Stanley, what's amazing about Third Sphere?
I'm going to start with a story about a secret about climate change. First of all, konnichiwa, Stanley desu, dozo yoroshiku. So I run a climate tech fund, VC fund, Third Sphere. So climate change. I know what you're wondering. You're probably wondering what many smart people are also wondering.
Are we all fucked?
Well, I think what people are really wondering is, how can you make a boatload of money?
Oh, okay, that too.
Yeah. So
before we get fucked,
the answer is you make money in climate change the same way you make money in anything. You exploit a secret. And so I'm going to tell you that secret that we're exploiting. First of all, how many engineers do we have in here? Okay, only a few. Don't worry. Good news. You don't need to be an engineer to understand this secret. Maybe being an engineer helps you understand the problem, which I've outlined here, mainly that climate change is a math problem. We have the technologies, but there's a lot of inefficiency because we can't model things properly. But to understand this secret, you really only need math. And don't worry about all the scary math on the left-hand side. So math is a big part of how we've progressed as a species, and we use math to solve big problems. Sometimes we uncover secrets, and sometimes we make a lot of money. So one more recent example is Google PageRank algorithm. So who here made money on that? Okay, yeah, a few people. That's great. Now, how did you make money? I'm sure it was likely that you invested in Google, right? Now, maybe you invested in one of the funds that invested in Google. But there were really only a few funds that invested in Google, and they kept it a secret. And so I've already told you one secret, that climate change is solvable with math and machines. Now, the second secret is that we've invested in a startup that is commercializing an algorithm that could be more valuable than Google PageRank. Mic drop. So again, my name is Stonely. I'm founder of Third Sphere. We've been investing in seed and climate tech for 15 years. We have a 4x DPI fund. Our LPs include Citigroup, Takanaka Corp, Nippon Kabaya Ohio Holdings. Thank you for coming today. Takamura Group. And if you have any questions, email me at Stonely@ThirdSphere or find me at dinner. Thank you, Dave, for the coaching on this presentation.
You bet. I think you missed the way to find out that amazing investment is just by writing one check into Stonely's fund, and then you got it covered, right?
I'm technically not allowed to say that, but Dave, you can say it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure who is next. It might be Stevie, or it might be Norm or Ganesh. It is Stevie. Okay, great.
Hi, everyone. Thank you guys for sticking around and letting us interfere in your booze time. Much appreciated. So I'm Stevie Cline. I'm going to be really honest with you. My whole presentation was about economics. I was like, VC, let's do it different. And then all day, everyone basically already convinced you of that. So y'all did great. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, and then I'll do a really brief talk about our fund. So my name is Stevie Cline. I'm the managing director of Volume 1 Ventures. So I actually started my career as a lawyer. So I know I probably seem very lawyery. I was the youngest partner ever at Skadden in New York City. I did a ton of regulatory work, did a ton of M&A work, loved it, but alas, I'm probably not a lawyer type. I clerked for a Supreme Court justice, and then I decided I wanted to leave law. I went and I did tech transfer at Johns Hopkins, got reconnected with my first love, which was genetics. And I had a genetics company for a while. So that was kind of my weird journey. But before all of that, I've actually been investing since about 2008. As my accountant tells me, all my money went to startups and shoes. So I know y'all are now looking at my feet. So that just got real awkward. But yeah, so that's where all my money went. But I'm really excited. I've always loved investing. I love working with startup founders. For me, the earlier, the better. And that's why I decided to kind of professionalize this and do a fund. So let's see. You guys can see, I thought we had one slide and it was going to be all about economics. We were going to talk about, we're going to go all into unsexy things make money and why that is. So for me, we invest in things that are really regulated, and the things that are really regulated tend to be very, very, very unsexy, where we think that we're seeing a lot of movement. You know, this economy, you are looking at things that people need, people have to have. And we think technology, inclusion, and innovation can help with that.
Can I ask you a question, Stevie?
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Haha. So like Dave, I am from West Virginia. So
hillbillies in the house.
we are hillbillies. So one of the biggest things for me actually is, I told Dave this probably the first day. When I travel, I used to travel a ton, and I used to always think I was the person from West Virginia that had been the furthest away. So like, oh my God, West Virginians in this really random place in China. And then I met Dave, and it turns out I am not the Marco Polo of West Virginia.
Okay,
So,
second question, can I ask you?
yeah.
Before you started your fund, how much money had you made and how much money had you deployed in angel investments?
According to my accountant, 34 million.
How many of you have invested $34 million of your own money?
I was not
Before
a
you
cheap
started the fund?
lawyer. I was not a cheap lawyer. I really was.
That is conviction. If you want a commercial for investing in someone who has conviction, I think that's about as much fucking conviction as I've ever heard of.
I have 32 exits. Most recently
32
Kava.
exits?
So, yep. I'm pretty proud of my record. I'm a hard person. I do a ton of diligence. I still do consulting for KKR on M&A diligence. So I'm a hard person. I take a lot of time when I invest. And especially I'm investing in regulated industries. And if you have an uncoachable founder in a regulated industry, you're walking into some disasters.
Another comment, just for the record, that's not like she had Matt Daddy's money. That was her hard-earned money as a lawyer that she deployed.
I'm from West Virginia. Daddy has dairy cows, so I got white gold. That's about it.
Thanks, Stevie. That's pretty fucking impressive.
Thank you. I'm very proud of that. So, you know, I am a big fan of liquidity. I'm a big fan of your exits get reinvested. And so that's really what we're doing. But yes, this is a little about me. This is all my economic beliefs, and I can rant for days and days and days, as my fellow geeks have learned this week. But I do think, you know, I started investing in 2008. So I invested when they were hitting the fan in 2008. And that's when I made a lot of money. And I really believe that we are in that same special part of the economy where a lot of people can start to build generational wealth. So I'm really excited about that.
Awesome.
Oh, thank you. Hi, I'm Ganesh Rengaswamy. Audible, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm
Remember
disappointed.
to eat the mic, hold it very close to your lip.
I was going to say I'm disappointed that Dave did not coach me. So we'll see how this goes. So I represent a fund called Quona Capital, a little bit of an oddball here. We are not a fund that invests in the US. We are a fund that invests in financial technologies and inclusion across global emerging markets. Almost like we invest everywhere except for US and Europe. Don't ask me why. It's bloody tough to invest in emerging markets. And I was smiling at a lot of things that Stevie said, but one thing specifically, which is if you have, what do you say? You have a founder, uncoachable founder in a regulated industry. That's what we do. 75 plus portfolio companies, you can guess number of them obviously are founders, who are figuring their way out. But we've been at it. Next year will be 10 years. We actually been surprised and amazed by how far we have gotten. We have 4 funds now, 3 early stage fund and 1 growth fund. Invest across 15 countries. Wherever you see the green dots is where we have teams. invest across 15 countries in India, including India, Southeast Asia, Latin America, Africa, and Middle East. Companies have probably raised over 10x since we deployed, of what we have deployed. And if you take our first couple of funds, more than 35%, actually now it's more than 35% companies have raised over 100 million in equity.
1 out of 3 of your companies have
Yeah.
raised 100 million
And-
plus in equity.
And this is in the countries that I'm talking about outside of US and Europe.
And that's
So
in
we have been
emerging
fortunate.
markets.
We have been
How
fortunate.
many government dictators are you paying off to get those numbers?
None yet, but I'm sure someday we'll have to walk out of a company if that happens. So we have very clear rules around that because we work in markets where well, it's a reality of the world, but we have very clear framework on when to walk out because we are SEC registered and it's not worth the mess to get into any kind of a fix. It's super clear, but it doesn't go away by pretending that it doesn't exist. Right. So we just need to know what to do. When that happens, just walk out.
I think that based on your first name, you probably don't forget, right? Anybody? Yeah, Karthik was the only one who got that joke. In Indian mythology, Ganesh is god of wisdom and elephant, correct?
Yes, elephant, god of wisdom, elephant, and the largest database.
There.
So yeah,
Elephants don't forget.
yes. I think we have, I mean, a lot of this is self-explanatory. Happy to share this around later, but I guess the thing I would focus on is global local strategy, which means someone on a call is always awake at an absurd time. We have teams from San Francisco to DC to India to Singapore to Cape Town to Brazil, Mexico City, Lagos. It's absurd. Nothing more to share there. Yeah, and this is just some stats to end, but again, this can be passed around. I guess would be, numbers don't tell the whole story. So I wouldn't get carried away by numbers, but we are super proud of the fact that in less than 10 years, we have, through our portfolio companies, we have been able to support and reach and create an impact of close to about 150 million lives.
Super impressive.
Cool. That's it.
Thank you, Ganesh.
Thank you. Thank you.
Norm, you're the anchor leg, buddy. No pressure.
I am the only thing holding you from drinks. Hopefully this will be worth it. My name is Norm Liang. I am a partner with Upshot Ventures. We're a Palo Alto headquartered firm. Our fund 1 was $115 million. We are very specifically seed stage investors. We invest with data and networks, and then we use our capital and experience to help our founders upshot from Series Seed to Series A and beyond. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the firm and our approach, but what we built was we built a repeatable process. And in a repeatable process, that means we were disciplined and we continued to invest in companies that we felt strongly had the potential to really shapeshift the world through innovation. I have few slides, but we did a report with a company called PitchBook. PitchBook tracks information from across the VC landscape. And when this report was written, PitchBook reached out to us and they said, something interesting. Your graduation rate from seed to Series A seems somewhat high. In fact, 2x the norm. And your unicorn count seems fairly high. Dave talked about power laws and having 1 to 3 unicorns in a portfolio. We had 34. And we had a higher exit rate. In fact, 61% of our companies have exited, delivering returns financially and strategically to our shareholders. All of these things are the ingredient for what we feel bullish on, which is helping those seed stage companies and founders really continue to move on to Series A and beyond. And we know that through the power of network, through our relationships, through our years of operating experience, having built venture-backed companies, we know that our experience makes the difference. We don't look to be on the cap table. We don't always take a board seat. We specifically partner with the founders, listen to them, and help them work through problems as they're figuring out how to grow their companies, how to get the capital they need to build and scale. and as they start to look across to other markets. And so what we've heard consistently here in Japan has been the willingness and the desire of this local tech ecosystem, this local talent ecosystem to continue to connect to other ecosystems around. And so we're hoping that we can partner with the technology and talent here and continue to build global startups. If anybody wants the report from PitchBook, you can actually scan this QR code. The QR code, you'll be able to download the full report, and that'll give you some insights about what we did, share some insights about our investment approach. And good, everybody's scanning. People must want the data. So with Upshot, we look forward to continuing to partner with more and more global ecosystems. We believe Seed is now global, not just local. And we look forward to continuing to be a part of this local ecosystem as it goes to its next stage.
All right. I'd love to give you guys some final remarks, but I would suggest we share those final remarks over some alcohol and celebrate the end of the day. Thank you guys all for coming to our conference, Nippon Innovation. Please, if you would leave your translator devices, I've been asked to make sure that you don't walk away with them. They're slightly expensive. If any of you are interested in joining us for a Southeast Asia trip at 42 Geeks, go check that out, 42geeks.com. We're going to be going to Indonesia at the very least, and I think also Singapore and Malaysia end of February. Thank you all for coming. I hope you invest in a few funds and startups.